Okay, we have several different things going on this week, but all of them relate back to Solomon as we continue to read about his life in our chronological look at the Old Testament. So let's jump right in and talk about what we'll be reading in week 25. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is finish up the book of Proverbs with the last few chapters. And most notably from this conclusion of Proverbs is chapter 31 and the description of the worthy woman. But I want us to notice the poetry of chapter 31 as the conclusion of the book of Proverbs, beyond whatever helpful instructions it may give to women about living as a worthy woman. Remember that we talked at the beginning of Proverbs about the two dynamics of the book, one being the father expressing wisdom to his son, and the second being wisdom personified as a woman who is calling out and inviting the young man to pursue her as opposed to the other seductive options. And so here in chapter 31, I think we see both of those images kind of come together beautifully. On one hand, we have the mother of Lemuel that is giving him these instructions about pursuing a wife that has these qualities. And at the same time, the woman that she is recommending, that she is praising, embodies all of those virtues that have been described as belonging to Lady Wisdom. And so we have this overlap of the practical instructions that Lemuel's mother is giving him about pursuing a good wife and the symbolism of Lady Wisdom and what wisdom looks like, whether you're a woman or a man, based on the fear of the Lord. And so it's cool to see the book of Proverbs come to an end in that way. Then we move on for the next few days of our Bible reading to the Song of Solomon. Arguably the most unique book in all of the Bible. There is obviously some debate about exactly what's going on in Song of Solomon, but I prefer a pretty simplistic view of the book in that these are poems that describe the love shared between a man and a woman, and the romantic and sexual love that they desire and that they enjoy together. The passage that maybe is the most remarkable and important for the book is in chapter 8 when she says, "Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is strong as death. Jealousy is fierce as the grave. Its flashes are flashes of fire, the very flame of the Lord. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can floods drown it." And so we have this powerful description of love and the force of romantic and sexual love. And so we can relish in the beauty of these descriptions that are given in the Song of Solomon and learn something about what God desires for a husband and wife to share together. Now, the flip side of that is the warning that the woman gives in the Song of Solomon all throughout. In fact, right there in chapter 8, before that passage we read, you see an example of that when she says, "I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases." The reason that you restrict, as she is doing in chapter 8, the virgin, the unmarried person, from awakening love before its proper time is because it is so powerful. And that's what the Song of Solomon is saying, that there is divine power in romantic love. And so in its proper context, in the garden of marriage, it should be enjoyed and that power should be unleashed to have its full effect. But outside of that, it should be protected, it should be guarded and restricted so that it does not cause disastrous harm to those who are not in that protected sanctum of marriage. And so that's the blessing and the warning of the Song of Solomon. Okay, and then after all of that, we go back to Kings and Chronicles, and in particular, in this week's final day, we read about the temple preparations that are made by Solomon. But for now, enjoy the variety of reading this week from the mind and life of Solomon, and check back next week for the next video. Thank you.